All right, guys, I want to take a few minutes to go over some commonly missed questions on quiz number 2. There were 5 in particular that I want to go over. I'm going to start with questions 3 and 5. If I don't hit on any of the questions that you missed and you want me to expand on those, just email me and I can work with you individually. All right, so let's start with the first one, number 3 here. It was the cosine of negative 240. So the first thing you want to do is sketch a picture and get your reference angle. Remember, negative angles go in the negative direction, so they go this way. So negative 240 is going to be right there, and it's going to have a reference angle of 60 degrees. All right. I think most of you got that part. So you knew that this was the same as finding the cosine of 60. All right. To get the cosine of 60, you got to go to your 30, 60, 90 triangle. All right. It's 30, 60, 90. And I think, again, most of you did okay with this part. It was the ending that tripped you up a little bit here. So there are your sides to your 30, 60, 90. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Adjacent's 1, hypotenuse is 2, so we're looking at 1/2. And here's where a lot of you got tripped up. Remember ASTC. We are in the S quadrant here, which means sine is the only thing that's positive. So you need to make sure that you put a negative on this because it's a cosine, so it should have been negative 1/2. So that's probably the reason a lot of you missed that one if you did miss it. Tangent of 315, I think it's the same issue as far as the quadrants go. 315 opens up, lands about right there, has a reference angle of 45 degrees. So I think the majority of you knew to change this to tangent of 45. The tangent of 45 comes from your 45, 45, 90 triangle. 1, 1, and root 2. And when you do the tangent, it's opposite over adjacent. And it doesn't matter which 45 you use. Opposite, adjacent are going to be all 1s no matter what. So this turns into a 1/1, which is just 1. But again, ASTC, we're in the C quadrant. Cosine is the only thing positive there. So you need to make sure that you made this a negative because we're talking about tangents. So it should have been -1. All right, there's 3 more that I'm going to talk about. I'm going to erase and then we'll put those up. Okay, the last 3 I want to go over are all very similar. So I just put them all together here, 7, 8, and 9. They're all asking you for the sine and cosine of angles that are on the unit circle. Several of you picked undefined for your answer for this one. The only thing that's ever undefined for right now is tangent. All right. When we get into the reciprocal functions, which we'll get to eventually, we'll see that there's other things that are undefined. But for now, tangent's the only thing that can be undefined. All right. These are not going to be undefined. They're going to be coordinates on the unit circle. Because remember, when you're on the unit circle, x is your cosine, y is your sine. So if I want the sine of 180, I go over to 180 and I just grab my y value, which is 0. So the sine of 180 is 0. The cosine of 270, that's down here. Cosine is your x value. That's going to be right here. That's also going to be 0. The sine of 90, that's up here. Sine is y, so we're going to go to your y value, which is 1. And sine of 90 is 1. So that should have been those answers. All right. Again, like I said, if you have other questions about any of the other ones, just message me individually, and I'll go over whatever you need. All right. So there was quiz 2.